things that you love to do? Maybe you love to dance or to sing. Or maybe you love to draw or to play basketball. Whatever it is that you love doing and you're good at is called a talent or skill. But oftentimes, a person has more than one talent. And these talents or skills that we have come from God. That's why we must use it to improve ourselves, to help and to inspire others. However, even if others praise us, remember to always remain humble because it's not good to boast the talents that we have. Okay? And if ever you still don't know where you're good at, don't be sad. You still have lots of time to discover it now that you're still staying at home because of our current situation. For the meantime, just continue with what you love doing and never stop learning and practicing in honing your talents or skills. Understood? Good! Let us read the following sentences. Number 1. Ellie practices singing every day. Number 2. Mother cooks delicious food for us. Number 3. Jessica edits her own videos. Number 4. Bea plays her ukulele after her online class. And number 5. Kuya helps mom in the garden. Do you know what the words practices, cooks, edits, plays, and helps denote? Correct! They denote actions. That is why today, I welcome you to another edition of Bryt! Because Bryt Kids know! As we talk more about action words. Remember Bryt Kids in part 1? We've talked about nouns and you've learned that nouns are naming words. And to complete a sentence, we need a noun and what this noun does. Let's choose one sentence from our examples to show you what I mean. In this sentence, Ellie is our noun. Or in other words, the subject. And what does Ellie do every day? Practices singing. The word practices in our sentence is an action word, and we call this action word as verb. Therefore, we can say that verbs basically tell or describe what the noun is doing. And also, a sentence would not be complete without verbs. However, not all verbs denote actions, for there are what we call non-action words. But as this episode progresses, we will just dig in deeper with action words. That's why, Bryt Kids, I'm inviting all of you again to grab your notebooks and your ball pens and let's learn all together! In learning grammar rules, verbs are doing words, which mean that they are the part of the sentence which explains the action taking place. Let's take a look at these sentences. LA pushes the cart. Chanel sweeps the floor. Liza eats her snacks. In these sentences, the verbs pushes, sweeps, and it's explain what LA, Chanel, and Raisa are doing. But how do we recognize action verbs? Going back to our previous examples, one clue that can help us recognize a verb is its location compared to the subject. Verbs almost always come after a noun or pronoun, and these nouns and pronouns are referred to as the subject. In our sentence, LA pushes the cart. LA is our subject, pushes is our verb. Next, Chanel sweeps the floor. Chanel is our subject, sweeps is our verb. And finally, Raisa eats her snacks. Raisa is our subject, eats is our verb. Therefore, verbs explain what the noun or subjects are doing. Are you ready for our first activity, Bryt Kids? I'm glad you are! Write in your notebooks the verb in the following sentences. Were you able to find all the verbs? Good job! Bryt Kids, we have two types of action verbs. The first one is transitive verb. A transitive verb always has a noun that receives the action of the verb, called the direct object. Ask yourself the question what after the verb. The next one is intransitive verb. It is the opposite of a transitive verb. It does not require an object to act upon. It may be followed by an adverb or adverbial phrase. There is no object to receive its action. Typically, intransitive verbs answer the question how, when, where, and how often after the verb. Let's take a look at this example. Michael hits the ball. Michael is our subject. Hits is our verb. Then, ask yourself, hits what? Ball. Therefore, ball is our direct object. Let's have another example. Jen eats ice cream. In this sentence, who is our subject? What about the verb? What is the direct object? Now kids, it's time for you to try this one. Read the sentence, then find the subject, verb, and the direct object. Here's another one. Were you able to answer it correctly? Good job! Bear in mind, Bryt Kids, that without the direct objects, those sentences would be nonsense. But wait! Did you know that there are also times that transitive verbs have indirect objects? An indirect object names the object to whom or for whom the action was done. Example, Elodine gave her mom the gift. Let's have a closer look. Elodine is our subject. Gave is our verb. Gift is the direct object. But what about mom? And to find what is the indirect object, we need to ask ourselves the questions to whom or for whom after the direct object. Elodine is our subject. Gave is our verb. Gift is our direct object. Ellie then gave the gift to whom? Her mom. Therefore, mom is our indirect object because it is to whom the action was done. Take note that the indirect object comes between the verb and the direct object. Let's try this example. Read the sentence, then find the subject, verb, the direct object, and the indirect object. Let's try another one. Did you get it right, Bryt Kids? Very good! Another thing, Bryt Kids, in general, an indirect object can be rephrased and repositioned as a prepositional phrase starting with 2 or 4. Examples. Number 1. Ashley passed the book to Adrian. Number 2. Lixelle bought ice cream for her brother. And number 3. The teacher gave some projects to the class. Now, let's take a look at this example of an intransitive verb. Jessica dances gracefully. Jessica is our subject. Dances is our verb. Let's ask the question, how? How does Jessica dance? Gracefully. The sentence is intransitive because it has no direct object after the verb. Instead, it was followed by an adverb. Next example. They arrive in Tagaytay. They is our subject. Arrive is our verb. Let's ask the question, where? After the verb. Where did they arrive? In Tagaytay. The sentence is intransitive because it doesn't have a direct object after the verb. It was followed by an adverbial phrase instead. And for our last example, he prays every day. Let's ask the question, how often? How often does he pray? The sentence is intransitive because it doesn't have a direct object. Now, let's try to answer this next activity. Write your answers in your notebooks. Were you able to answer it correctly? Good job again, Bryt Kids! Let's get your minds working more. Identify the verb in each sentence. Write your answers in your notebooks. Did you all get a perfect score? That's great! Correct answers for the activities in this episode will be shown in the next episode. So stay tuned, Bryt Kids! I hope you did learn a lot today about verbs. And remember, you can always watch this video again and again if there are things that you still cannot understand about our topic. And I'm encouraging you to do your own research and self-study. Well, it's time for me to say goodbye. But I promise to be back for our next episode. I'm looking forward for your pictures again while watching and answering our activities. All grade levels can try answering all the activities in this episode and in our past episodes too. And just a simple reminder, this show is not exclusive for GS pupils only. All learners are free to participate because that's the goal of our show. Thank you everyone, and thank you Bryt Kids, parents, and to all of you out there for your continued support through watching and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless you all. See you all in the next episode of Bryt! Because Bryt Kids know! Because Bryt Kids know!